for clicking on this lesson. My name is Niharika. Well, recently one of my friends mentioned that she's going through a very messy divorce because her husband committed infidelity and now they're battling over the custody of their only son. Well, that's right, you got it. We're going to talk about divorce. Now, what exactly does divorce means? Well, when a married couple do not want to be married anymore, this means that they want to bring an end to their marriage, they get divorced. And that's in the eyes of the law, right? So that is what we mean by divorce. Now, there's something called as trial separation. Now, what does trial separation mean? At times, you might have heard people saying, oh, she's just separated from her husband. Well, this means that the couple is not legally divorced. They are just separated. They are living apart, okay? And they are sorting out their differences. Maybe they're working out whatever issues that they're facing as a couple, okay? So that is when they are on a trial separation. And you never know that they might reconcile. Reconcile means they might get back together. So the moment they sort out their differences, they might get back together. Right? Now we also have something called as annulment. Now, annulment is a little different than a divorce. It's an official statement which means that the marriage was never real. This means that the marriage was completely invalid. So, the marriage is void. Now, there are certain reasons why the marriage can be invalid. If one of the partners was married already before getting into this marriage, okay, so then the marriage is void, right? That's mean, isn't it? Like the partner is already married and then you're getting into another marriage. Wow. Well, there's another reason also. If one of the partner is forced to get married, they're compelled to get married, this means that the marriage, then it won't be called as a divorce, but it would be called as an annulment, okay? Because the marriage is invalid, okay? Now, there's a certain procedure to divorce. Now, basically, once the couple decides that they want to file for a divorce, they would go ahead, file for a divorce. This means they would submit legal documentation, the legal paperwork to the local government, okay? And then they would hire a divorce lawyer. So individually, they would have their divorce lawyers who would basically figure out how they're going to divide their assets. Now, as a couple, I'm sure they would have a house, a lot of money would be involved, so that has to be divided, isn't it? So it's basically, that's the work of a divorce lawyer who will figure out how it's going to be divided. Now, there are two options for the couple. They either go to the court, okay, so that's a divorce court, okay, also called as family court in many countries, okay, and they have a judge who decides on the divorce, okay, or they settle it out of the court. Now, settling out of the court means they would solve their issues. I mean, however, if the assets have to be divided or any kind of disputes would be solved together out of the court, like it would be solved amicably, right? So that means they would not be going to the judge. They do not want to go through the hassle of the traditional court setting, okay? Then we also have finalizing the divorce. Now, that's the end part of the divorce. Basically, when the whole divorce agreement is ready, the couple will finalize the divorce by signing some set of papers, okay? So once that is signed, this means that the marriage is over, okay? The show is done. So that is finalizing the divorce. And then we have alimony. Alimony is basically a law-enforced payment that has to be made by one partner to the other. Like the husband would have either the husband or the wife, whoever earns better, would pay the alimony. In many countries, it's called as aliment, or it's also called as maintenance, or it's called as spouse support. Okay, so that is what is alimony. And now let's look at some things that what happens when the couple is getting divorced or filing for a divorce and they have children. So let's see how the procedure goes on. Now let's see what happens to the couple who decides to get divorced and have children. Now that kind of becomes a little tricky, isn't it? Because all parents love their children. So how the procedure goes about, we will have a look. Now to get custody means that which parent gets to keep their child, okay? So that's exactly what they do. They decide that who would get the custody of the child, that with whom the child would live, okay? Now we have full custody, which means in the eyes of law, a full custody means the child would live with one parent forever, okay? So if the mother gets the custody, okay, if the wife gets the full custody, this means that the child or children would get to live with the wife or with the mother forever, okay? But there's also something called as visitation rights. Now, visitation rights mean the law gives certain days wherein the other parent would get to visit the child or the children. So, for example, if the mother gets the custody of the children, okay, then the father would get some visitation rights that he would visit certain days or maybe once in a month or once a week, whatever the law decides, and that's called as visitation rights, okay? Then we have joint custody. Now, joint custody means, I feel that this is the best, okay? Joint custody means wherein both the parents, okay, get the custody of the child. This means maybe, according to the law, whatever the law decides, maybe the mother would get to live with her children for a week, and then the next week they are with the father. Or for a couple of months they are with the mother, and then for the rest of the time they are with their father. Okay, so that means joint custody. Okay, then we have a custody battle. Now, custody battle, well, trust me, it's a little stressful, especially for the couples. Firstly, they're getting divorced, and then they are trying to fight for the custody over their children. Okay, it gets really stressful for the parents and for the children. It means that they are not able to come on a conclusion that who would get a custody. It's a complete battle. It's a fight over their children. So that's what it is, that they go through a custody battle. Okay, and then we have child support. Now, child support is not similar to alimony, okay? Child support is a complete different thing, okay? Now, child support means that the parent, okay, for example, if the mother gets the full custody, then the father has to pay for child support, okay? He has to pay some maintenance in order to raise the kids, all right? So that means child support. Okay, so I hope this lesson would help you to talk about divorce. Another thing that you can do is you can take a quiz. There's a link in the description below this video. Go through it, take that quiz, and let me know how much did you score so that I know how much my students are learning from my videos, right? You take care, and I'll see you soon in the next lesson.